Are you in the middle of a Crohn's or colitis flare-up and you don't know how to calm it down? Is your belly on fire? Does every bite of food hurt? And do you feel completely drained? Then this video might help. A series made just for you, to help you understand what's happening in your body and to show you the steps you can take to calm things down. Everything is based on my own experience with Crohn's, plus years of knowledge from orthomolecular medicine and guiding people with IBD. My name is Jeroen Leduc. I am the founder of Crohnproof, an organization that started from my personal story. Together we help people with Crohn's and colitis find healing in a holistic way. This video series has 3 parts. First, I share my personal story, how I live with Crohn's and what happened during my flare-up in 2015. In the second, I give you simple steps you can take today to calm your system, ease the inflammation and start feeling better again. And in the third, I explain what's going on inside your body during a flare-up when it feels like your belly is burning. In this video, I will walk you through my story, how I got diagnosed with Crohn's, the first steps I took, and how things started to look a bit better, until a series of night shifts triggered a flare-up that completely knocked me down. I want to take you back to one of the darkest times of my life, a moment when my body completely shut down and I had no idea what was happening. I'm sharing this because maybe right now you're in a time like that. Maybe you feel sick, powerless and exhausted. Maybe you wonder if it will ever get better. You are not alone, there will be a time when it gets better, but for now you need to hold on and push through. To get there you first have to go through the storm, and I am here to help you do that. Let me take you back to the summer of 2015. A few months earlier, after a colonoscopy, I was told I had Crohn's disease. The test was done because I had been struggling with sharp belly pain and blood in my stool. After the test, the doctor told me I had a chronic and incurable illness, that my body was attacking itself and that food would have no effect on the disease. The way I was raised, we always looked at natural solutions first, to give it time, to try homeopathy and herbs, and if that didn't help, you could still choose medicine, but not just because someone said it was the only way. The doctor gave me a follow-up appointment to talk about starting medication, but I never went back. Instead, I chose my own path. I decided to use my body as an experiment, to see if I could find a way to heal myself. If that didn't work, medicine was still an option. Getting the diagnosis gave a name to the symptoms I had been dealing with for months, maybe even years. Now that it had a name, I could start looking for answers. What did it mean? What was happening in my body? And more importantly, what could I do about it? The idea that food had no effect on my gut sounded like nonsense to me. Food is the only thing that goes through your gut every day. How could it not matter? At the time, my diet was full of brown bread and dairy. I was into bodybuilding and I had learned that it was smart to eat every 3 hours. I ate 12 slices of bread a day, 6 with chicken, 6 with peanut butter. I drank a protein shake every day, and at night I ate a big bowl of yogurt, all because I had read on bodybuilding forums that it would help build muscle. When I started searching online for ways to improve my symptoms, I kept seeing the advice to eat gluten-free and dairy-free. That was 80% of my food, or even more. But I was determined. I wanted to try everything I could to get better. I had nothing to lose. If it didn't work, life would be the way the doctor had told me, with meds and maybe even surgery. So I got to work. The bread and yogurt were gone. Instead, I started eating salads, big bowls of lettuce, cucumber and tomato. After a few days, I was so done with chewing, my jaws were tired, and I never felt full or satisfied from eating just salads. At work, people laughed at me. The guy who used to eat all day was now eating nothing but salads. They made jokes while eating fries or Turkish pizza, but I didn't care. Not that I couldn't eat what they were eating, not that they made jokes about me. I was focused. I had to make this work. Luckily, a friend tagged me in a Facebook post with a recipe for homemade oatmeal bread. After days of just salads, it felt like such a relief to eat something that finally felt satisfying. From there, I kept experimenting, baking new kinds of bread and changing my meals. Long story short, my body did really well on the paleo diet. Paleo means only eating what nature gives us, like meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, fruit, nuts, and seeds. These days, there are paleo recipes for everything, like cake, bread, casseroles, and even pizza. Just Google what you want to make and add the word paleo. You will find the recipe. Changing my food was one of the most important steps in my recovery, but it wasn't the only one. At the time, I was working in shifts for the Dutch railway at Utrecht Central. In August, I had a series of 5 night shifts. At the same time, I had the first day of my part-time college program because I was aiming for a future management position. I had done 2 night shifts, then went to school all day, slept 1 hour and went back to Utrecht for 3 more night shifts. Back then, I was unstoppable. I could do it, so I did. After the night shifts, I had 2.5 days off, but this time getting back to the normal rhythm was really hard. Usually those 2.5 days were enough to reset, but this time my body didn't bounce back like it used to. My body felt different. I didn't feel like myself. When I arrived at work for a late shift, I knew right away something was wrong. I never called in sick, but this time everything in me said go home. As I waited for my manager, I felt a pain start in my belly. At first it was small, but it got worse really fast. It was a deep pain on the right side, like a fist was pushing through my stomach. I called in sick, grabbed my things and walked to the train. The ride home took 90 minutes, but it felt like forever. In the train, I could barely sit up straight from the pain. And when I got off the train, I walked slowly to my house like an old man. Once inside, I dropped on the couch, completely empty. When my partner came home, she saw right away, this is bad. My belly felt like it was hitting barbed wire from the inside. I had sharp shocks of pain again and again. The smallest movement, like turning on the couch, hurt so badly. And even drinking a sip of water felt like fire was moving through my belly. For a week, I couldn't eat solid food. I was so sick I could not take care of myself. My partner did everything to help. She made broth and light soup so I could get something in. At the time I had a fit, muscular body, no extra fat at all, but in that 1 week I lost 11 kilos. In the weeks after I looked like a zombie, sunken cheeks, pale skin and a skinny body. A few weeks later, when I felt just a little bit better, I drove to the supermarket for the first time. It was only a 2-minute drive. I grabbed a few groceries and drove back. By the time I got home, I was completely wiped out. That tiny task used all the energy I had. It took 3 months before I had enough strength to work again. And still, during all those months, it never crossed my mind to call a doctor. I didn't think maybe this is really serious. I just held on, I just survived. After I recovered a little, I was allowed to slowly return to work. At first I worked 1 hour, then a half day. Over time I was back to working full days, during regular office hours. That went fine, I could handle that. But when we started testing shifts again, just starting 1 hour earlier, the symptoms returned. Not loud, but quiet like a whisper from my belly. I remembered the flare-up. It had taken 3 months of my life, and I was really lucky. Lucky that I got through it without medicine or surgery. Now that my body was whispering, I didn't want to wait until it started shouting. So I made a decision. My body can't handle shifts anymore. And that decision had consequences. I chose to be declared unfit for the job. That meant stepping into the unknown. I had no idea what was coming next, but I knew one thing for sure. I couldn't keep going like this. What I didn't know yet was that this decision also meant I was no longer fit for the whole organization. And just like that, my time at the railway company was over. So was the college course I had started and my dream of becoming a manager there. One choice and 11 years in the safety world were over. The future I had imagined, gone. Yeah, finding a way to live with Crohn's without medication cost me a lot. But it also gave me something priceless, my health. Not all at once, not easily, but step by step, by listening to my body, changing what I had to, and never giving up. That changed my whole life. It all started with one choice: to search, to learn, and to try. That is how I healed my own body, even with the diagnosis they said was chronic and incurable. After a year of searching, trying to figure out what to do with my life, now that the future I had pictured was gone, the idea slowly started to take shape. What if I could share my personal journey with others? What if I could teach people how to ease their symptoms and maybe even heal? That is why I started Crohnproof in 2017. At the time, the biggest question on my mind was, it worked for me, but does it work for someone else too? To find out, I posted a message on Facebook. That's how I met Nancy. She told me that she had been in pain every single day for 5 years, all day long. She was on meds, and a part of her bowel had already been removed. For a second I thought maybe she is not the best test case. But I said yes, and we went for it. Each week, I send her new info, what to eat, what to avoid, how to lower stress, and how to listen to her body. Everything I had done, I wrote down and sent it to her by email. My own story slowly turned into a method. And guess what? After 2 months, Nancy messaged me. For the first time in 5 years, she had a few pain-free days. 5 years of non-stop pain, and now a few pain-free days. That was amazing. We kept going. She kept making changes. And after 4 months, she told me her pain was gone and her doctor had taken her off her meds. That moment changed everything. It didn't just work for me, it worked for her too. She had 5 years of daily pain, lost a part of her intestine, was on meds, and still the method worked. Since then, so much has happened. I studied to become a therapist in orthomolecular medicine. I graduated as an epiphysiologist, specializing in Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. And now, Crohnproof has become an international organization. We work with a team of therapists and nutrition specialists. Together we help hundreds of people with Crohn's and colitis find their way to a life without pain. And this is just the beginning. I share my story with you because I want you to know it is possible. It is possible to live without pain. It is possible to feel strong again, even if it feels far away right now. The answer isn't in one pill or one diet. It's a mix of things. Your food, your lifestyle, your mindset, and helping your body recover from the real cause of your symptoms. And that healing, it all starts with one choice, that you decide to take the first step. I did it, and so can you. I hope you feel it, that even if it feels impossible now, that there is a way forward. If you're wondering, what can I do now? Here are a few things you can do today. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm reading along and I will answer your question in a future video. Do you know someone this video could help? Send it to them. Maybe this is exactly what they need to hear right now. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe and you will see future videos and you will help us reach more people who need this kind of support. You don't have to do this alone. We are here to help. Do you need support on your journey to healing? We have an app you can try for free. And if you want more guidance, we also offer personal coaching. With us, you will learn what's going on in your body, what is really behind your symptoms, and what you can do to take back control of your health. And if you want to see the next video in this series about what you can do during a flare-up, check out this video where I show you what worked for me and what you can do right now to calm things down. That's it for today, my kings and queens. I wish you all the best and let's get your shit together.